So this is a reporting webinar for the 9 months of work of the CryptoUnit program and the global investment portfolio. We have news, dear friends and partners, because today I'm speaking from Belarus, and in the end I will tell you about our good news in this country, in this area. But first things first. They tell me that the sound and video are okay. I'm Igor Romanenko. I'm the financial director and the manager of the CryptoUnit portfolio and SWIG portfolio. I am a professional investor, also I'm a private trader, investment consultant in the Academy of Private Investor. I've been investing as a professional since 2012, since I started studying in the Academy of Private Investor. And dear friends, it is my recommendation that you invest your money in your knowledge, in your brains, because this is the most profitable investments ever. And I'm telling this from my own experience. I'm also the head of the investment development department for the global investment portfolio of CryptoUnit program. Most importantly, I'm not simply doing investing, I enjoy doing it, and I try and develop new areas. And since our goals are global, we have a global investment portfolio that I'm going to tell you about. We have novices here, people who see me for the first time at this webinar. And let me tell you what awaits us. We have a CryptoUnit report. So we all would like to know where we have our money invested in our global investment portfolio. What are our results? What is the Profi Bonus or the first payments are? And what are our plans for the future? And friends, we are going to start from the structure of the global portfolio. Before that, I would like to tell you also about the investment part of our webinar. And in the end, we're going to be joined by a leader from the Presidential Council, and then we'll have a Q&A section, and we will answer your questions. Well, as for the structure of the global investment portfolio by segments and items of investment, this is item 1. Then I'll tell you about the high liquid assets in our investment portfolio, what they are, and I'll tell you about the components of the portfolio. The next item is what segments and items of investing allowed us to pay the first Profi bonuses. And then we'll tell you about the structure of each segment, because we have a segment, an item, and the financial instrument. Segment is a wide, broad term. It might have a number of items, and every item can have thousands of financial tools in it. That's what I learned many years ago, and that's what I'm going to tell you about. In December, we are planning to launch a very powerful course to train people in the different investment areas. And remember that our goal is to have 15% of the global population to be financially literate. And the global investment portfolio. So let's take a look what investments we have, in what segments they are concentrated. The global investment portfolio within CryptoUnit, when started on the March the 30th, looks as follows. Most of the money, as you can see, more than 40%, is venture assets. Then we have precious stones and gold. Then SKYWAY shares, another area. Also, we've added basalt among our investments. So next we have precious stones, the banking sector, the stock exchanges, cryptocurrency and blockchain, the shares and business, culture, real estate, and precious stones. It was precious metals and stones. So we have, in some areas we've invested more, in others less. The investment portfolio is not perfectly balanced yet, but we are moving towards that ideal balance between segments and items, return of investment ratio and high liquidity ratio, because we need to have in our global portfolio enough highly liquid high number of highly liquid financial tools in order to be able to withdraw money if necessary from one item of investment and invest it into a different area if needed. This is very important because we need to have 20% of our entire global investment portfolio to be invested in high liquid tools. Again, to be able to quickly redirect money into a different area if necessary. You know, you should always account for risks when investing. And dear friends, this is my recommendation for you, and you can put down this recommendation when you're planning to invest into any area. Don't look at return on investment right away, because that's what people try to look right away. Try to analyze the risks in different areas and see what the risk is. Well, return on investment is always important, and it is also important to see whether this particular investment item has a lot of promises or not. It's like planting a tree, and next week or next even months, you won't see the grown-up tree. You'll see the sapling, you'll see the tree will start growing leaves and then flowers and then apples, but only several years later. And it works the same with investments. You need to wait to have some tangible and considerable return on investment. So let's move on to the next slide, the structure of the investment portfolio by items or objects. You can see that overall amount of investment over the 7 months is 44.8 million units. And as you can see, most of them are invested in SKYWAY shares, because quite recently we talked with Ms. Kosareva Nadezhda, and we purchased an extra package of SKYWAY shares, and now our portfolio has quite a lot of SKYWAY shares in it, because we would like to have in our reserve fund at least 1 billion SKYWAY shares. Now we have more than 1 billion SKYWAY shares in our portfolio. But when we eventually come to SKYWAY, I'll tell you more about it. So SKYWAY accounts for 37% of the entire money invested. I'm showing you the investments that we've made right now. Then Basalt is 385%. Ural Gold, we have quite a considerable share there into almost 22%. We have 4 areas in gold, 4 gold-related projects. And we're going to have even more. We have an international lawyer in Africa now researching another gold-related project than Ghana's gold. Tanzania, gold trading. So in this case, we earn by selling gold. We have Ghana trading 1.34%. We have investment holding, which is about creating the entire infrastructure for the development of our global investment portfolio. in order for us to be able to work legally across the entire world, to be able to freely invest in different projects so that no one would prevent us from doing it, because sometimes, it happens. There are some financial structures that might prevent us from or create obstacles for our activities. The next item area is UGPay Data Bank. We've not invested a lot, but we've invested some. Then we have Genie Pay. It's a system for us to be able to pay in cryptocurrencies. Then we've invested in crypto ATMs, with crypto mats. So these are two different things: the conventional ATM and crypto ATM, when you can purchase cash by selling bitcoins, and the other way around. We have already sent our first crypto ATMs to Estonia in Tallinn. We've field tested it, and now we've withdrawn successfully cash from it. We called Boris in Tallinn, our representative. He's our main representative in this area in Estonia. Also, we have investments in the US stock market and Russian stock market. Those are highly liquid assets. Remember, I was telling you that 20% of our whole global investment portfolio should be kept in highly liquid investments. That's what we're trying to do. IPO, that's also about financial markets. PIFs, which is the mutual funds, they do not yield a lot of interest here, from 1 to 3% per month, but they are stably working assets which ensure continuous yield on our return on our investments. We've been working in this area for a couple of years now, and we enjoy working in this area because it is 100% legal as all other areas, and we know what we're doing. And last but not least, we enjoy doing it. STO, CryptoUnit, and ICO unit, we've invested certain money in it as well. Not a lot of money. Next is algorithmic training. It's trading using robots in a stock exchange. We've already had a certain experience in this kind of training. I remember we had Graal bot in the Academy of a Private Investor, Progressor bot, and they were stably working. And I remember it ensured 3.5% return on investment back then. And it is good because you don't have to spend your time keeping track of all the quotations and market prices. So you set up the trading bot, and if you do it correctly, it works in your stead. And we found people who managed to properly develop the strategy. And at the reporting webinar, I remember I guess by the end of the month at the reporting webinar, you'll hear some results. Some of them are good, others are not that good, because, risks are always present, and our goal is to minimize the risks, but, you cannot do away with them altogether. Just wait for a second. We need to solve some technical issues. Okay, I edited our investment items. So have algorithmic training and then Sushi Master equity. So we've invested 3.35% of our investment portfolio. And we have Sushi Master franchise and Sushi Master equity. But this is very interesting and promising project. The next project is SKYWAY investment. So we've invested a considerable money here, 7.68 percent, and we are going to pay in crypto almost 2 million. There is already demand for crypto. Then we have investments into culture, which is filmmaking. It's not even filmmaking per se, but the whole industry, in order to be able to earn not on the sales of one single movie, but on all the films made by the company. You know, you have Kid Marvel, the American company, and they have Chinese Marvel as well. That's how it's called. Those of you who were in India know and saw our first short video about Dragon Man. I will show you some snapshots when we go to that specific project. I liked it. I don't know whether you're going to like it or not, but I personally enjoyed watching it. So we focused on the Chinese market here, but next year we're going to penetrate the Indian market as well with the same project. So Miners TV series, like $30,000 were invested in this. It was a pilot season, 8 episodes each, and you can go to YouTube, type in Miners TV series, and I think the first hit will be our TV series. That's how I found it. Another project is a real estate project. It's a village Phuket investment project. It's Southeast Asia, Thailand, and we are still getting the permission for construction, and hopefully in February, March, we will receive the construction permit. The next one is the land in Krasnodar region, the construction of a hotel. We've invested more than 2% of the entire money invested, and we are waiting. We plan to begin construction, and then we'll sell our hotels, and that's how we're gonna earn. And the production of diamonds, Hargos Technology Company. And now, dear friends, this is our global portfolio. In a nutshell, I told you a few words about each of the projects. And let's see what investments in our global investment portfolio yielded quick return on investment, because we have long-term, mid-term, and short-term investments. So our first income was earned on short-term investments. We invested more than 2 million units. And over that period, in 7 months, we received an income in the amount of almost 700,000 units. And remember that 35% of these earnings will be used to pay Profi bonuses. So the first payments have already been made, and those of you who were in India know that there will be 2 bonuses: loyalty program bonuses and Profi bonuses. And so it was credited to your accounts already. Cryptocurrency profit. So where the profit was here? We earned on the difference between sale and purchase of cryptocurrencies. We invested 1.5 million units over a certain period of time. Sometimes it was Ethereum, sometimes it was Bitcoin, and the overall revenue was 425,000 units, which is 27.5% plus for 6 months, and 4.5 for a month per month. So another project is quite highly liquid and highly volatile project and high risk project. So I have my own opinion where the cryptocurrency is going, because blockchain has the future, and I can't say that Bitcoin will still be in existence in 10 years. Maybe we'll have some other cryptocurrency, but Bitcoin is the main cryptocurrency now, and has the major share in the cryptocurrency balance. And I see now it's 8.8 thousand per coin, but I was quite positive about purchasing it and investing in it. As soon as I'm negative about it, and I'll have a webinar on investment on Wednesday, and I tell my opinion during those weekly webinars. And of course, I also do trading, so I wouldn't mention it if I didn't have any belief in it.
Because the price is very volatile. So the next item is PIF mutual funds with 67,000 units. And the profit here is not large, as I told you, but it's stable. Why? Because the money goes through the managing company, Russian companies, and they are regulated by the Central Bank of Russia, and the legal structure has been in operation for over 15 years ago, when the relevant law on managing companies was adopted. So the principle is quite clear. So we earn this profit only in Russian, but distribute the profit globally. And here the profit is about 10% over the 7 months, not 6, but 7 months. And it turns out to be over 1.5% per month. Yes, dear friends, I can tell you that here the profit is not 1.5%, but it happens that when you are investing, making new and new investments, and your duration of investments, so there are investments you invested only recently, and it joined the previous investments, and the average mathematical formula is that the profit is not like this. So our average profit is from 3 to 3.5 per month, but since quite a lot of investments were made last month only, and therefore the percentage of the profit decreased by 1.5%, but actually in reality we are talking about 3 to 3.5% per month. In November, we haven't made our investments yet. We will see what we will have in November, but dear friends, it's important here to see volatility of the Russian ruble against USD. The higher the volatility is, the higher our earnings are. At least we try to reach it. The third item in our highly liquid assets portfolio is IPO market. IPO market profit, which has been available and present in the Russian market quite recently. Personally, my experience of working in this area is over 2.5 years. Since 2017, I started to operate here. I like it a lot. We multiply our capital, and actually there is no such yield which we had on CryptoUnits in fall and autumn, when the shares increased even by 100%. And Bionta company, this is the artificial meat company, so they had several hundreds percent increase. So this is something unbelievable, and we earned here as well. Now I will show you this slide about our IPO market profit development. And the market here is hot, and we need to be very careful because there is the profit. As soon as you see large percentages, you shall be cold-minded. Put away your hot mind and put on your cold mind. Go outside and jog for some time to relax, to become cold-hearted. And not everyone can cope with this pressure. And in the psychology of trading, so it's very important actually. And in November, we didn't work on IPO market, quite probably in December, we will. And I would like to tell you now what I see on the market. Everything is over traded, retraded. And I told you that when the blood is going, you should sell, but actually you shall buy when there is euphoria. And it may last for another half a year until the elections. So the one who is aware of this can actually earn and get profit, but we will inform you about this because we have new specialists in this area. Apart from me, there are some consultants with good experience, and we have the investment committee to be established quite soon. And actually it has been established. And on Monday, on Tuesday, in our office, Moscow City, we are meeting them, where we will discuss the global issues about the structure of our holding. The fourth segment is stock market, US stock market. And here we have the broker through which we work, the US broker. It's not the largest one in the US, but one of the largest globally. And it is well known that the stocks of this broker for a long time have been traded, and they have very powerful stops in case any client, something happens bad to his account, then this broker immediately stops all the transactions. And here the profit is 80,000 units. Within 3 months, we started to work with them only in August, and we invested 60,000 units. And by the end of October, we made additional investment. I will show you the amount. Here we have the manager, the executive officer, and we daily in touch with him. So the next segment is stock market in Russia. Here we earned, again, quite unbelievable percentage, 13% within 3 months and 4.4 per month. So we managed to earn this percentage because indeed for the stock market, 10-15% per annum is a good result actually. And the US market from 8 to 10% is a good result. And when the profit is 30-50%, then a person is doubtful that it is not possible. And dear friends, I believe that you shall not have the word impossible in your vocabulary. So it's important to plan everything in your mind. Another segment is gold trading. This is Ghana gold trading. Here we have 3% per month. I will show this. We invested 600,000 units and 18,000. This is the profit to be reached by the 30th of November. And we will have monthly 3% on this segment. And here it's important to note, I will tell you about this later. There is an important notion as gold trading profit per month. We have trading where the turnover within 1-2 months could be 5-6 times, meaning that the percentage of the profit will increase. Can you hear me well? Yes? No? Okay, we are moving on, dear friends. And Binance cryptocurrency robot, which earned 32,000 units, and I can tell you that the robot itself worked very badly. It was at a loss, minus 20%, but because of the exchange rate of Bitcoin in April increased, and therefore we got the profit. So it reached 12.5 thousand US dollars, and investments here is 200,000 units. We are moving on. IPO transactions in April, September. Dear friends, here I showed which IPOs we had. IPO Luft, Zoom, and Zoom, dear friends. Now we are using Zoom. We are using good product, by the way, I believe. And you can have a look. Those tickers. Tickers are the abbreviated names of the companies. You can see the stickers at some investment site, investing.com or financeyahoo.com or finviz.com, and immediately you will see the quotation of this company, capitalization, profit, and the dividends paid. The price, the entry price, which is indicated here, how many shares we had, the third column. The next one is volume, then the exit price, the stock and the volume, the total volume of stocks, the last but one column, the sale price, and the last column is the profit in US dollars. So here we plan to make investments. We may not make investments in this segment of 1 million US dollars. We don't have the infrastructure. We are building this infrastructure to be able to invest large money into this segment. So far, we invested 93,000 US dollars with the profit of over 45,700. And it is about 49% within the report period. And where do I have? Yes, I see the next slide. I see something is missing. So, dear friends, let's have a look. From April, we started to work, and the investments is 10,000 US dollars in April, whereas the profit as the percentage for this investment, and then each month there were additional investments, but it's important to understand which segments are working and which we have as investments, and you see that on a continuous basis we made additional investments into this segment and started to make profit. So May, June, July, August, and September, because in October we had almost nothing. We didn't enter there. There were September IPO. And the total profit, you can see it, is 45,000 US dollars. In September, we had plus 4.29% the capital growth, but the IPO yielded 30%. And in total, only these two stocks worked in this portfolio, and therefore the growth rate is plus 4.29, but these shares increased by 20 and 30% accordingly. And in October, we didn't work with IPO transactions, and therefore these are the results we have. And at the top, you can see all these companies, the Real, Preinvest, Adaptive, and others. I know all these companies, maybe you don't, but still I know that there are some people that work in this segment as well. And now I see advertisement, and I see that more and more people start working and making transactions in this IPO. But again, I do warn you that you shall be very careful. Many analysts recommend only 10% of your portfolio to keep in this segment. But some brokers believe it and view it as gambling. Actually, I don't consider it to be gambling like casino, but at least here you can impact the situation, influence the situation. Another area, the mutual funds, PIFs. So these are the liquid assets. Afterwards, we will talk about non-liquid assets. Here you see that PIFs, mutual funds, our investments may be seen per month, those working assets and the profit. All these figures are on your screens. We invested 53,000 Russian rubles. Approximately this is 839,000 US dollars if you convert it according to the exchange rate. So, and the exchange rate is 64, and the profit from March to October is 67,000 USD. And I believe this result is quite good with regard to our mutual funds and all those tax payments that are to be made. So I see that you're complaining about my poor internet connection. So please write me in case you have some problems. So here we have 3G internet, and this is the reason. So this is our highly liquid investments, and in our portfolio, the structure is that 20% of the global portfolio should be highly liquid investments. Investments where we can get our money back quite soon. Financial market, cryptocurrency markets. So mutual funds are also included into this area, into this section. So then our investments into the American and Russian stock market. In June, we didn't work here. We worked through our US partners, Prime G. So we were speculative there, and we earned 4%. The markets were declining. We buy this stock quite cheap, and then the market grew, and we sold them out. And since there was a trend with Andrei, we discussed it. We decided to buy and afterwards to sell. The investments of 158,000 US dollars, and in the stock market we got 4%, almost half of the annual profit rate, which is quite a good result in the Western markets. In August, we started to work with internet brokers, interactive brokers, and we invested here 100,000 US dollars. You remember in August. In Belarus, we met with you. There was NEMI conference on the 18th. We talked. I presented with Valentin and other stuff, and we showed the first results then. And in August, we earned 11,500, and then in September, we added assets for another 400,000, and eventually we got the working assets of 500,000, and the profit is 48,000. And in addition, in October, we earned 20,000, and eventually our profit is 80,000 USD plus 8,500. Yes, the total income is 80,000, and eventually we get 86,000 as our profit within this report period from June. Well, it turns out over 4% per month. Quite a good result, I believe. And dear friends, there will be a training in December, and there I will tell you how you can make your earnings in this segment by leasing your shares. Please write this down in the chat. Quite probably you know that you can provide for rental the real estate, but if you know that you can offer for rental your shares, please highlight or write down plus, if not minus. Only minuses I see. Well, I see the minuses, Vitaly Sokolov in my chat. No, they are not report transactions. In order to do this, you need a knowledge of professional trading. And secondly, you need to understand what options are, how to trade in them. And we buy the options and the stock itself, and I will tell you and share all the details in December. And it turns out that you get the ring and the other participant gets extra, so you give him more risk and absorb a minimum risk as yourself. And the stock should be within 3 weeks, not to go minus 10% for your benefit. If less, then you shall sell it. So actually we are developing this segment. We've shaped the portfolio of 350,000 and added another 350. We have a different account. One account acts as a speculative, and the other one is for offering these shares for rental from 3 to 5% per month. This is the profit we can get. And even if the share grows earlier, you don't sell it. For example, it gets 5%, but you get 4%, but not within 3 weeks, but within 2 weeks, even more. You can earn even more. But it's important to understand these tools, the instruments, to get the stable companies. And actually, why don't you use this area if you know what it is? Most importantly, that you shall be reasonable in everything you do in planning your risks. Well, the price of the stock may go the direction you didn't expect, so you need to get insurance. We have a professional. I know myself all this. I like it a lot. So I'm simply sharing this information with you that we can earn on these instruments as well. I understand this. My task is a bit different. I am not able to sit at the terminal all the day around. Although I have one instrument, dear friends, this is a secret, but the broker may not offer and give it yet. If it does, then it will be very cool. We can, on a daily basis, make 10-15%. It's important to come to an agreement with the banks. So the broker, when I made my earnings, I was prevented from withdrawing my incomes, my profits. We are moving on. Now I'm showing screenshots for stock market. So this is Interactive Brokers. Yesterday, I showed the screenshots for our assets on the US stock market. So here we have longy, short runs, 1,500,000. And in cash, we have 2,993, and short minus 1.5 544. So Interactive Brokers, this is their report. Net asset value is the real value, which is on the account. I'm showing this and you have it. So net asset value is 1,449,000. We have one US broker who is managing this, and we have our account being opened of the company, not PLC, but to have even more financial resources. But we will meet next Tuesday this month with you in order to hold not million, 5 or 10 millions, but 30, 40 million. But my plan is to have 1 billion US dollars in this segment and to manage it. So 1 billion. I like the series. There is 4 series of one financial series about Wall Street and all this stuff. They have the investment analysts, how they work, how they speculate with the IPO, with the stock, because they are financial wolves and sharks, and you shall be aware of them. Well, dear friends.
So now we have a screenshot. We've talked it with Andrei Havratov, and he told me that we should show screenshots from our back offices. This is the financial results for mutual funds for the last month. So this is the financial performance over the entire period. It's one of the accounts. Because we have money in mutual funds, we have several accounts. Not even several, we have more than 8. We have investments in one project in Gazprom, VTB Bank, different managing companies where we preserve and multiply our capital. And this is the screenshot from one of our accounts. And this is the earnings per month. It's 5.3 million as on the end of the period. So on the right, you can see the entire amount of earnings. So we had more than 5 million already as of October the 30th. And those are distributed among the funds. So that's how we preserve and multiply our capital. So we can take the money from one fund and invest it into another. So it is our task to choose the fund correctly at a given time where to invest. So one more screenshot. It's 5.7 million. Well, that's the same screen. So we have capital invested in bonds and technologies. One more screenshot of how much we earned over the 6 months period. The financial performance of, this is the overall performance over the 6 months. So, during the next webinar, so our person who is responsible for preparing those screenshots will prepare even more screenshots for you. So I just wanted to show you that we have a person in charge for this. PIFs means mutual fund. It's just incorrect abbreviation. So we have 1 or 2 people that are part of our investment committee, and they will report on where and how much money was invested. So, dear friends, you have the Russian chat complains about the poor sound quality. Hopefully in English everything is okay. Good to hear. So again, PIFs means mutual funds. It was translated literally from Russian. You're welcome. Now, let's move on. So now we move on to next segment. So we've talked about highly liquid portfolio parts. I showed you how much we earned and where. Now we are moving on to the part of our portfolio by segments. Remember I told you that we have different segments. And a segment can be comprised of different items, and items can be comprised of different financial tools. We need to be clear on that. So let's consider it segment by segment. So the first segment is a venture segment, and we invested 18 million US dollars, and our investments are focused on SKYWAY and Basalt. SKYWAY, as you can see, if we take a look at the both pie charts, so we have a percentage of the segment, and on the right, we have percentage of the total investment in the portfolio. It's for us and for you to be clear. So you can see that on the left-hand side, you have the percentage of the segment, which is SKYWAY accounts for 90.6% that we invested in this segment, and only 9.4% have been invested in Basalt. Of course, most of it has been invested in SKYWAY. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see that if we take SKYWAY investments, but out of the entire total investments in our portfolio, this is quite a lot of money, 37.1, and only 3.9% are investments in Basalt, and the rest is the rest of the portfolio, all other investment projects. This is clear, right? So we have two major projects in the venture segment, SKYWAY and Basalt. And we invested 16.6 million into SKYWAY, our SKYWAY shares, and this is quite a considerable share. And we invested 1.7 million in Basalt. So what I want to tell you is that SKYWAY shares, for many people now, are not yielding instruments because you do not receive a return on investment yet. But for our SWIG, for our CryptoUnit program, SKYWAY shares are liquid shares because we can sell them through our network at any time and sell them to new participants, and we will receive our return on those investments and can reinvest it if we need to. So this is our reserve funds. So we have a partnership agreement with Anatoly Yunitsky in September 2014. We celebrated our 50th year anniversary this year. So, and under that agreement, we can sell the shares if we want to. So for us, SKYWAY shares are liquid shares, highly liquid shares. So I haven't told you how many shares we have in absolute numbers. So let me do the math. So we bought them at a discount. And so, dear friends, we have purchased recently, together with Nadezhda Gennadievna, we did some math, and literally on Thursday, we arranged a discount, so 8,175,000. So we arranged with Nadezhda. So we had 600,000 plus 800 million that we had. So we have 1.4 billion SKYWAY shares, and they are in our books. So this is the assets that we have in our portfolio, SKYWAY related assets, 1.4 billion. So the next segment is precious metals, gold. I've already told you about it. So what we have here, we have 4 projects here. The first project is Ural Gold. You can see that percentage-wise, it accounts for a considerable share of the entire segment, 85%. We invested $9.8 million. The next project is Ghana's Gold. We've invested $325,000 to open a licensed company to mine gold. The third project is Tanzania Gold Trading and Ghana Trading. So the first thing that I should mention about Ural Gold, we are cooperating with quite serious people, geologists, who have more than 30 years of experience in this area, and we met them in May. We had a meeting in the old office on Tulskaya Street in Moscow. We signed an agreement on cooperation with them, and this company has entered into our books almost 0.6 tons of gold, or 8.6. We need to get to be clear on that. But still, the company has already did some drilling work to survey the amount of deposits and to know how much the site has, how much gold the site has. And now we have confirmed amount of gold deposited. We have the pioneership certificate that we were the first there. And so it's 1.6 tons of gold for now. So 1 ton of gold has 1,000 kilos. So it's 1,600,000 gold multiplied by 74,000 USD per kilo. If you do the amount, so you can do the math. If it's usually it's traded in ounces, but if you do all the calculations and convert ounces into kilos, you'll have 47,000 US dollars per 1,000 grams. So now we have this amount of gold confirmed in the soil already as a result of drilling works, and the company will enter into our books 2025 million tons. I'm sorry, 2025 tons of gold into our books. So it's from 900 to 1.2 billion dollars in our books at the current gold prices. So at the London Stock Exchange on Friday, the gold price was $46.93 per gram. Well, let's say $47 per gram, or $47,000 per kilo. So the capitalization is $75.2 million capitalization as of now. We don't have yet any results. We've just opened the company, but we have capitalization because we have some shares already purchased, and the capitalization of those shares, we've been working with our partner for more than 2 years. It's $572,000. Tanzania gold trading is the next project. Here we invested $750,000. We sell physical gold, and the physical gold means for us that the monthly turnover, this is the important indicator for us. We plan to have 2 transactions per month at least, and we plan to we talked with our representative over there in Tanzania, and we plan to bring it up to 6 transactions per month from 2. So from one transaction, we can have 1.5%. You buy at a cheaper price, and you sell at a higher price. So the more transactions you have, the more earnings you get. So out of 6 transactions, we'll have 9%. At the reporting webinar, we'll have the first results in this area. And the last gold project is Ghana trading. We've invested $600,000. So we've invested in highly liquid assets because they can yield return on investment right away. And we now have 3% out of that amount, which is $18,000 by the end of November. So we'll have our first revenues in the end of November. This is quite like, let's say, a young project, gold-related project. And on the right, you can see the percentage of the total investment in the portfolio. You can see that in Euro Gold accounts for almost 22% out of the entire investment portfolio. The third segment is a bank segment. We've invested $2.5 million. So what projects we have here? It's a banking investment. We've invested $3.4 million. So we've created a legal mechanism for us to be able to be working in this segment freely and without fear of persecution, in order for us to be able to multiply our capital. So in this segment, we hired 2 brokers, purchased 2 brokerage companies, and we plan to buy one more. One broker is in Cyprus and the other one in the United States. And the third one is going to be somewhere in Asia, maybe in Singapore or Hong Kong. Well, in any case, we'll need also an Indian broker, because India is quite a promising, has quite a promising stock exchange. That's why we need a broker in that country as well, at least in that region. So we have a licensed bank. Well, we haven't purchased it yet. We invested in the investment holding, and that investment holding purchased those institutions. We haven't purchased the bank itself directly. We invested in the investment holding that purchased the bank. Then UGPay Data Bank, we invested $141,000. So we plan to create our own data bank based on cryptocurrency, for us to be able to freely exchange and launch our CryptoUnit. GeniePay, another project, is a terminal for making payments in cryptocurrencies. For when you come to a cafe and they suggest you make a purchase using your bank card, it works the same way. You come to a store or a restaurant, and you will have an option to pay with your cryptocurrency through a specialized terminal. You can use CryptoUnits to pay for your purchases. So next one, GeniePay, we plan to invest $500,000. We invested $310,000, and we invested almost $85,000 in CryptoMats, crypto ATMs. And our first crypto ATMs are already up and running in Tallinn, Estonia. Boris is our representative. You can get in touch with him. So Mila Surdukova had a meeting with the investors, and we already saw how this crypto ATM works. We are planning to have thousands of crypto ATMs across the entire world if the legal environment allows us to set up our crypto ATMs in those countries. The next segment is the stock market. We invested $2,523,000. So we have such projects as US stock market, Russian stock market, IPO, and mutual funds, PIFs. Bear with the translation, I'm sorry. On the left segment, you can see, on the left part, you can see that most of our money has been invested in the US stock market, a smaller amount in the Russian stock market. Part of the money was invested in IPO and mutual funds. So if we take a look at the entire segment, that only 3.5 percent, or maybe, yeah, it's the U.S. stock market in the entire investment portfolio. And the 5.6% is stock market in our entire global investment portfolio. And then, but our goal, as you remember, to bring the highly liquid assets share up to 20%. And mutual funds are such highly liquid assets. So we invested in Amazon, Tesla, Apple, Yandex, which is Russian Google, for those of you who are not aware. So those companies, like ambassadors, they are major players. Of course, we purchase other tools as well, but like big ass DSLV tools, ITFs, like with double, triple shoulder, XPSY, SPPQ. It's other tools that you might have heard, you might have not heard. Though we buy options as well. So we have lots of tools at our disposal. So Apple gained what, 20% over the last 50 days. Tesla also made some gains. Well, we invested in Yandex before, and Amazon does not share a lot of growth right now.
Well, dear friends, the total investments is 2,523,191. Of course, we need to increase the amount of investments here. And I forgot to tell you that we are anyway considering, maybe you know some good traders or managers for this segment. We need to bring together a team of professionals for this segment, because 2-3 persons are very nice, but there should be a team. You remember I told you about this financial series. The more the team of professionals is, the better your business is, and the lesser your potential of making an error. So the next segment is cryptocurrency and blockchain. We invested 367,000. So we invest in STO and algorithmic trading, where we invested only $73,440 US. So we only started making our investments here. And the percentage of the segment in the left, and the percentage of the total portfolio. Another This is our equity in the business, invested $5,693,000 including such projects as Sushi Master. We also a part of their equity and the value of the company. When we talked with the CEO of Alex Yanovsky of Sushi Master 6 months ago and decided to cooperate with them, the value of the company was $150 million. But we, after our decision to cooperate, and as soon as we started cooperate, the value increased by 200 million. And you remember the goal of the company is to enter IPO with the value of the company of $1 billion. So then we can do IPO. And the first goal of Sushi Master is to have, first of all, 2,000 restaurants. Which restaurants they have? So far, Sushi Master is selling franchise. There is the equity and the franchise. And there is the Sushi Master franchise. Sushi Master franchise, you remember, from the Academy of Private Investor, franchising, McDonald's. This is an easiest example. You can buy this franchise and set up your McDonald's, not in every town or city, but you have this right. And in one of the towns, we have 2 billionaires, and one of them only buys franchises, parking McDonald's, and make his earnings on this. So this is the dominant business he has. Sushi Master, which restaurants they have? Almaty. We invested Yekaterinburg, Kemerovo as well. We invested in restaurants Kazan. We are preparing Vladivostok. This is for Russia. Then we signed an agreement in Belarus. We have a unique right, exclusive right, stating that only we are a monopolist working in Belarus. And the franchise also includes 50-50 when a restaurant is in our ownership, but it is managed by a team of Sushi Master. So they select their staff, analyze the data, make due diligence, and as soon as you hit the rate of return with no losses, when you reach break even, and in accordance with the management, the profit is distributed 50% to 50%. When there is a rate of return, there is a yield on investments. Some small part is received for operational costs by Sushi Master, and minus operational costs, the profit is distributed 50-50. And we like Sushi Master to make sure that the selling points, the restaurants, shall as soon as reach this break even, because they are directly interested. The faster you get your profit, the faster they will make their earnings. And the second part of the franchise, when you have 100% franchise, here the team of Sushi Master doesn't help you, only consults you, and you will pay the royalty yourself of 5.5% out of the revenues per month. And in Belarus, by the way, this case is unique. In case the selling point does not get 1 million, then this royalty is not paid. So another area is Shikard, where we invested 3,443,000 and 2 million to be invested into to be presented as CryptoUnit. So quite an interesting thing, by the way. And here I would like to tell you that this area is very promising. This is for the development of the network. This is quite a good instrument, and the main idea is that when we launch this segment, the unit could be used to pay in all the selling points, including petrol stations, restaurants, shops, because this is an app for entrepreneurs and businessmen. The main idea is that the businessman can run his business and to use unit in all these points and facilities. And as soon as we do it, I believe this will be quite a profitable segment. So Shikat, you've heard this. So his CEO spoke at one of the panel discussions, one of the representatives in this area. And you remember there were Ginny Pate, Shikar, Alexei Yanovsky from Sushi Mustard, and the filmmaking industry represented by Nurlan. The next segment is our investments into culture, altogether 830,000, percentage of the total portfolio, and percentage of the investments per segment, per section. So here we have Amalgama. So this filmmaking company, Amalgama. And the second area is investments into the series minus in cooperation with Amalgama. And to your right, you can see that the share of investments in the total portfolio is quite small, but it is very promising. And when you were in India, you saw the trailer, a Dragon Man. He was performing on the stage, and then afterwards everyone could make selfies with him. And this movie will enter the Chinese market, and next year we talked to Nurlan that they plan to penetrate the Indian market in this area. The investments here are not large, but the profits which we can gain are quite substantial. And this segment, culture and films, is of high interest because Andrei Havratov always dreamt of entering and penetrating this segment. And I am also a fan of investments into the culture segment. So we are moving on. We talked to Nurlan in India, and we plan additional investments in this segment in November. So real estate, we invested 1,955,000 into this segment. And here, I do apologize. I will switch off the chat. Well, so the real estate segment, which areas do we have? They are Village Phuket and our investments in Thailand. So a hotel composed of a number of villas. At present, we are getting a permit for construction and plan to get it next February, March and start construction. Here we invested so far 809,000 US dollars, 800,900 US dollars. And there we have 33 heavens. So this is a Phuket territory. I visited this site last August. You need to climb some mountains. It is not far away from Barak Tower beach. If you know the Thailand, This is the longest beach of about 1 kilometer in distance to the sea coast. This is the western coast of Phuket. And in India, at Goa, Andrei Khavratov showed this site where the construction is expected to start. There, he showed 3 points, 3 sites. At the report webinar, we will duplicate this as well if needed. The next area is the construction of the hotel in Krasnodarsky Krai. The picture is available, and this is for your visualization. And we invested $1,154,000 and the cost of the land plot after we made our investments increased. The value of the land increased substantially. We also have real estate in Perm Krai. We offer the building for rental, and this area is included into the CryptoUnit portfolio. Therefore, I showed it separately for you to understand that monthly we receive $1,900 to our accounts. So the entity that rents this pays the rental fee, and this area continues for about 2 years because this is an element of the real estate sector. Another segment is precious stones, the production of diamonds. We invested 278,000, but we need to invest another 1,722,000 into this segment. Production of diamonds by Hargas Technology Company. So we showed at Goa all the contracts and agreements with this company, and you see that only 0.62% is the share of this area of our diamond production by Hargas Technology. We need to invest over $2 million. But so far we invested only 278,000. Why? We didn't do it because we failed to reinvest in June because of the financial interbank operations. This is what I told you, that we need our own data bank to avoid the problems with the transfers and exchange of money. But all these issues are addressed by a new system, cryptocurrency, and why we focus the idea of paying with your cryptocurrency, and you will get a 10% discount because this is a promising area, first of all. Secondly, we want you to start understanding this segment better on your own, because quite soon I'm sure that 10 years after, 95% of the global population will have their crypto wallets. And accordingly, you need to understand this because this is our future, and the crypto world has come to this planet and quite soon will stay here for long. And there is such a trend, dear friends, that we are avoiding our cash-based transactions in US, Europe. So everything is going to be done electronically. Quite soon, I believe, everything will be electronically, and cryptocurrency is our future. But now it is very volatile, therefore you shall be very careful. There are so-called stable coins, and we try to hedge and ensure, for example, we get cryptocurrency and not to be dependent on exchange rate. We exchange part of it into the stable coin one by one. So this is the electronic US dollar, and then we simply sell it at the current exchange rate, which is not dependent on the exchange rate of Bitcoin. So actually the trend is not quite easily to understand. Maybe it will upright. So today I haven't seen the graph. So yesterday he started to decline. I need to study the situation, but in autumn, cryptocurrency tends to decline. There is such a trend. So we need to explore and analyze the situation. And there is the robot working on cryptocurrency. In terms of diamonds, we need to invest in addition 1,700,000. We have our diamond production site. We invested it into the production. We don't have this production site yet, but as soon as we make these investments, we will have our production of diamonds. And this is quite a promising and interesting segment, precious stones and semi-precious stones. So these segments have always been viewed as interesting segments. I remember it from the Academy of Private Investor when Andrei Khavratov promised from 20 to 25% of annual growth. There is this 20% annual growth on precious stones. Well, dear friends, and I can tell you as well that yesterday I've finalized my presentation on the portfolio. If there are any questions, I would be happy to answer them. Yesterday, on the 8th of November, we had the meeting in Technopark with the SKYWAY group, so with Anatoly Yunitsky and his staff. So a good meeting, by the way, and we came to an agreement that we need more frequent meetings and to have more transparency in our relations and have good plans for the future. Therefore, yesterday's meeting was very good and we are pleased with this. And a very short but positive in its tone, the news about our meeting in Technopark. After me, another person will speak, our leader from the Presidential Council. And now I'm passing the floor to him if he is connected. Armand, if you are here with us, please get connected and I will pass the floor to you. I'm passing the floor to Armand Murnieks, the first person in the company who is a member of the Presidential Council and a person who quite recently I heard from Andrei. He said, if there is only one person who believes in my goals and objectives, we will do it. We will start doing it. And actually, Armand is the person of this kind. I saw him only for the first time in 2015. He didn't come immediately. At that time, I thought he was very emotional, but actually, I liked the way he behaved and the way he runs the business. Well, good, dear friends. Armand, if you're here, please get connected. If not, then we will start our question and answer session. I'm here, I'm connected. How can you hear and see me, guys? Please give me your feedback. Put pluses. So if you hear me nice, write down 10. If you hear me poorly and badly, write down 1. Igor actually opened all the cards, all the secrets. You are a great, awesome guy, Igor. I would like from my end to add, guys, how do you like the information? Please, again, your feedback, put your chats on for me to see your feedback. How do you find this information? My question is, Igor, for 1 hour and a half, told you about all those segments of SWIG fund and CryptoUnit program in particular, and I would like to get your feedback, but I don't know why I don't see anyone. Where is the problem? Armand, we have the people in our chats Yes, now I see some of them. Well, the reason I'm asking this question is the following. You know, over the last time, I had a lot of meetings and I face that most people may not understand to which extent excellent opportunities our fund offers. A second, please. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Can you hear me? I don't understand whether you hear me or not. Do we have any people that can explain? Please make sure that people can write their questions because I don't see them. I don't see these questions on my screen. I don't see any questions at all. You need to add a tag questions at the top. I have sharing, dashboard, chat. At the top, review, view. And put a tick next to questions. You can scroll it down. Next, you see the arrow to scroll down the questions. No, I don't see it. I don't know where the problem is. Well, as soon as there are questions, please announce them, read them out, because before I had these questions and now they disappear.
Okay, we have some feedback. Guys, does everyone at the moment, is everyone clear on the information provided by Igor Romanenko, the person responsible for investing? So all of you remember that investing is not simply about investing money somewhere. It's about also understanding how the money can grow. And at the moment, I think I personally, as a person who does it too, I think Igor Romanenko has been very successful with his team in carrying out this task. So why I'm asking this question? Lots of you and people I talked to are asking the same questions. When we eventually start earning money, when I will finally be able to buy myself a car, when I'm gonna buy myself an apartment, when I'm gonna receive dividends, when this day is going to come, etc. Well, friends, try comparing what you have today with what is offered in the world globally. What I mean is, take like go online like Google, Yandex, Yahoo, and take a look what every person needs to become an investor, what a person needs to become a co-owner in a business, or how can a person can purchase shares in a company. Just Google it. And what a person needs to get before that person is able to buy shares or to be a co-owner. I've recently talked to a very experienced influence maker, very influential person, in the world of finance, and he told me, the entire world is split into different sectors. Everything happening around you is sectors. You have a sector of production. You have a sector of investments. You have a indication sector, etc., so on and so forth. So, and this world is split into sectors, and every sector has its rules. And I'll give you a couple of examples. It's like the steps a person needs to take for that person to be entitled to a benefit, to some commodity or goods. And the investment sector was so closed for people that many of us might have only heard about it before. Like, I thought, in order to become an investor, I need $1 million, and then I'm going to buy 2 apartments. One apartment will be rented out, and I will be living in the second one, and I'll buy myself 3 cars. I will use 1 car for my personal needs, and I will rent out 2 other cars. And that's how I'm going to receive my passive income. That was our way of thinking before, right? I don't think I was the only one to think this way. So when you come to a company, to our company, you realize that you are now have an opportunity when you don't have to move a single muscle, you can relax. So why I'm saying all this, now we have this unique opportunity. So let's consider this not as Andrei's business or like an investment project of the Academy of Private Investor. You are all co-owners, proportionate to the contribution that you made. And when you start treating it as something that belongs to you personally, only then you can influence the acceleration of the time of the arrival of the time when you start receiving good bonus Profi bonus payments or the expansion of our investment markets and products. So your actions now affect the eventual return on investments. So if we are clear, just give me some feedback if you understand what I mean, like a plus or a 1. So this was the main message that I wanted to convey to you. And people who ask all the time what's happening to SKYWAY company or the string technologies company, why there are no news about them. So dear friends, remember 2 months ago there was some information that a request, like we kindly ask all our partners to stop posting information on the public resources, on the public web pages, that SKYWAY won and partners from different countries started finally considering this technology as an option, and we are now all winners of how was it put? it was like we are cool and they are nobody, and we've won the day. That was the way it would put more or less. But when you start researching and getting closer to the world of finance, you realize that money likes silence. So when people join, they don't want to be associated with a scheme according to which we started to work in our multi-level crowd investing in order to be able to implement the project. I'm talking about SKYWAY here. And I'm very, very grateful to people who are able to adequately perceive it, and grateful to people who took it with understanding. And it doesn't mean that SWIG is now investing purely in its own projects, or creating projects which have nothing to do with, and that SKYWAY is left on the sidelines and we forgot where we started from. So the picture that you see on your screens was taken yesterday. We had a very good meeting yesterday, and unfortunately I cannot disclose all the information mentioned yesterday, but I can tell you the following. Yesterday we had a very productive meeting. I think we arrived at 11 a.m. and worked until 5 p.m. as a whole team, and we negotiated our future. We discussed our future. What's next? Remember, Andrei Havratov told us that for us to be able to implement SKYWAY project in all the countries of our presence, and to do it much cheaper and a better quality level than the others, we need to focus on having a lot of people in our ranks. We need to be able to protect this technology, and this protection should be composed of people who are not going to receive simply money or benefits, but when people are part of it, when they are co-owners both with their hearts and souls, when we become advocates, when we're becoming like activists, and we're becoming a force that focuses on the needs and the goals they have. So yesterday we made a gentleman's agreement to prepare the necessary documents for the first targeted project that is going to be a commercial project. I cannot disclose all the details until it happens, in order to prevent something like what happened in Sharjah when meetings were organized. And it doesn't mean that SWIG does not help SKYWAY. The reason here is that we are so focused on those projects to be eventually implemented that now we need to take a break to bring all the contracts and agreements into line, to make all the payments for the pre-design and project documentation, for the land surveys, etc. So we need it all for us to be able to see the first signs that will show us the actual results. And let me assure you that all your doubts, all your concerns and apprehensions were all in vain, because you cannot plant a seed and expect the tree to grow right away and give you fruit and bear fruit. Yes, first you plant a seed, then you pour some water on it, then you protect it from bugs and rodents, and then you wait until the tree grows and starts bearing fruit. It works the same in the world of investments. You first invest money, then you you prepare the soil, then you invest, then you start protecting your investments, and then you cooperate with people that can influence the positive growth. And then 3-4 years later, when the investment tree has grown, then it starts bearing fruit. It cannot give you its fruit right away, like a whole truckload of apples. At first it gives you 20 apples, then 100 apples. I really hope that I managed to convey to you the importance of what's going on. Well, going back to this meeting, it was held in a very friendly environment, partnership environment. Well, we had a very good chat, and at the same time we held very fruitful negotiations, and we came up with different proposals on both sides how we can use the instrument at our disposal, which is the CryptoUnit program and the global investment portfolio, and our partnerships with different entities that and persons that are part of this global portfolio, and how it can positively promote accelerated implementation of SKYWAY, and for us to be able to see the fruit of our labor in our garden. This is as far as the technologies go, SKYWAY technologies. Now, I have a question for you, and then I need your feedback. Put a plus if you know what I mean. Okay, remember 2014, Igor, by the way, I joined in 2014 when we first learned about this company, GPI company, and we all got on board. It was the time when Anatoly Yunitsky planted the seed, and we, all of you, watered that seed. We protected it. We took care of it. This small sapling, the SKYWAY sapling, to become a tree. And now we are approaching a time when this tree has grown firm roots, strong roots, and it does not break when the wind is blowing and the storm is blowing. And we need to wait some more for the first fruit to be born by that tree. And again, my friends, we cannot get billions of dollars right away for all the shareholders, SKYWAY shareholders, to become multimillionaires right away. This is physically impossible to do. For all of you to become financially well off and successful from that project alone, you need time. And this is normal. When Andrei Havratov told us, and Igor Romanenko confirmed it, that in our portfolio we used to have only $2 million of high liquid tools, and those 2 million worth of tools gave birth to children, which is $630,000. So money gave birth to money. And the further we go, the higher the capital we have, the percentage will be the same, but the amount, the starting amount will be bigger. And even if today you get only half a cent of dividends or $1 of dividends, just keep in mind that this is the first fruit. And the only thing you have to do is to start keeping track of how much you received last month, this month, and, to keep track of the growth. This is a very important thing that I wanted you to notice and be mindful of.
Well, I saw your questions, and today many people ask what bonus is under the loyalty program. Why at some time it is higher, the other moment it is lower, and everyone refers to the file Andrei Havratov showed about the benefits, so the incomes the people may have, which have some portfolio, some package. So the bonus under the loyalty program is your cashback, or it should be viewed as the funding, the finance, which any company spends on some marketing services. For you to have clear understanding, I do advise and recommend you to go to the internet and write down how much a minute of advertising or commercial costs at any particular TV channel. And you will see that it is extremely, extremely expensive, even hugely expensive amount. And now imagine if we take this funding and invest in the radio and anything else where everyone hears this advertising, and how many people will come to your business after this 1 minute commercial or advertising. You hold rendezvous, and if within 1 minute of your talking, will a person immediately understand what you are talking about, or you need at least 40 minutes to explain to them some pieces of the information about the business? And therefore, the decision was made that this advertising money will be redistributed among all those people who are our ambassadors of our brand. They are those people that are committed to the brand and protects this brand, who are our active participants, and among those who are our advertising companies we invest into. Do you understand what I mean? Do you understand if I mean? If you do understand, please put plus. Well, I don't see the feedback. Yes, we do have pluses, because I'm told to press view and get to some tags, but I don't see them. Great. It's important for you to understand this, because, dear friends, we all need to climb a higher level of development, a new level of understanding, a new level of our business. And for this, you need to understand these basics. What is the most important thing, or the key criteria for the company to grow and develop? And accordingly, all of us grow and develop. And this bonus under the loyalty program is different from the bonus Profi. And it is different in the way that the company, on a monthly basis, and who is a company? What is a company? Company is all of us. If this month we perform 10 times better compared to the previous month, and we have 10 times more people we have this month than we had last month, and people is our value today. So first of all, we have more people, we have more participants of the program, we have more money to invest not into one restaurant but into several restaurants, to with a faster pace to multiply our kids which are born by our money. We are moving on. What will influence these figures announced by Andrei Havratov to make sure that they are realized and they are realistic? For us to realize all these figures, we need to change our attitudes to the business. If today you want to set up your own business, for example, a bakery or a service station, you open this bakery and you are lying on your sofa doing nothing, searching for no partners. You are not posting your advertisement, your commercials. You do not run any campaigns, any promotional campaigns. Will your business grow and develop, or will it simply eat out your investments? And after the investments are over, you will close your business. And the similar approach is here. We are all a driving force of this business. And the faster we understand this, the faster we commit ourselves to our business growth, the faster we will reach those figures which were announced by Andrei Havratov at the launch of the CryptoUnit program. So we all see this as the reality, as the result we would like to achieve eventually. Well, how can you calculate this bonus? Well, we take out of the amount announced by Igor Romanenko as of the end of our month, how much money the fund received after selling the access to educational programs, and 10% out of this amount is taken. Then this 10% amount is divided by all those tokens which have been subscribed and can be seen in the main page of the website. And after this, you get a coefficient which you can multiply by your number of tokens. And this way you understand how much money in particular and exactly you can get as your bonus. How many units you can get. I believe you understand this. We are moving on. Many people say that once you announce that we would receive more. Dear friends, if you calculate, particularly those who started at the beginning, that monthly, you calculate what you receive monthly and then add your contribution, your monthly pays out. For example, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1. So you add all this up and please see what in the result you will get. And this is only your bonus under the loyalty program. The next stage is bonus Profi, which we together with you should vote for the percentage to be allocated for the payout of bonus Profi. And I do ask you to be very serious in order not to be able to say that I didn't want this, someone else take a decision instead of me. So the voting will be based on the majority voting principle. So now for those people, you all received your bonus Profi. sorry, not bonus Profi, but your bonus under the loyalty program. This is one payout for those people who visited India, who came to India. They will receive a double payout. What does it mean? They will get, so all the calculations will be made for those present and absent in India, and by the 15th of November, by the 15th day, you will receive extra units in your back office, which will be added to your back office under the loyalty program. Do you understand this? Please, I need your feedback. Do you understand this? I don't see your answers, but still, I believe that I managed to explain everything clearly. I will give you another example to make sure that everyone actually understands. The people who didn't come to the event, who didn't participate in our event, in our function, this 5-year celebration, you will get 1/3 and another one will get another third. I believe that now you all understand what I mean. Then I've done my mission. Well, I would like to add my speech by the following. Afterwards, we will move on to question and answer session. So I have the following message to all of you. These are questions. We will answer them. Well, for those who are writing this, that this is bubbling our eyes with, this is your right. So one thing I want to convey to you is that time will show. Today, we fulfill all those announced statements, all our statements made, all our promises made, and the time will show whether it's true or fake. Igor, I don't know whether he is connected or not, but today, right now, in Spain, there is the preparation of another 2 restaurants. Please imagine that today you are driving along one modern city, you enter a restaurant and you are a co-owner of this restaurant. After enjoying your meal, you pay a bill for some product, service, but at the end you will get this cashback. It won't be a cashback actually. It will be the bonus profit. It will be paid out for the profit the company makes. And only the time will show how many restaurants we will have, 1, 10, 1,000, 10,000, or several hundred thousands. And if we discuss our statement about the crypto ATM, CryptoMat, everyone is asking when you will create it. So, dear friends, my message to you, try on your own, set up any business. When you try and attempt to do it, you see that the process is very difficult. It will never be done overnight, and no business will make you very fast pays out. So people that run their own business can wait for 10 minutes to get the break even. We do not promise here that please come to us, get trained and educated, and tomorrow you will become a millionaire. So it takes 3-4 years to become a financially independent person if you work full-time. But if you work part-time, it will take you 8 years. And if you spend only 10% of your time, then it will take you 12 years. And if someone today tells you that please invest today and tomorrow you will become rich, so then I think we need to work harder to make sure that everyone understands what business is, what investments are, what assets are, and we need to work on better understanding of business models, on those things which are required to set up a business. Please study and explore this. So, and you will understand if we are talking about some fast money or the real money. We are all together here with the realistic work to be done, with the realistic risks we are all ready to cover and share, and with those incomes, realistic incomes we may have. And only in such businesses, guys, you are entitled to multiply your capital on a continuous basis. It will not happen otherwise. There were a lot of people saying, well, you come invest 10,000 and tomorrow you will get every week 1,000 US dollars, and 4 weeks after you will return half of your investments, and 2 months after you will return all your investments, and then you will make your net profits. But if you look at where the money comes from, they comes from someone else joining the company. Money may not get from nowhere. They shall be starting growing from some point and growing to the stage when the tree gives its fruit. So therefore, let's be very structured in our approaches and thinking, and let's be reasonable in understanding all these processes. And believe me, it is not far away that the SKYWAY company, in the name of Anatoly Gennadievich, Mikhail Kirichenko, will announce the specific and concrete results of this meeting we had yesterday. Please take this screenshot. This is a milestone, a cornerstone event or meeting as a shift to the first targeted project. And I do congratulate you all on this. But again, I do ask and request you not to publish anywhere on your resources, because you are not an employee of SKYWAY. You are not an official representative of SKYWAY. And when you post this information on your personal behalf, then the company receives some questions. So Stream Technologies company receives some questions, and they answer that this person is not our employee. So let's together with us breathe in, breathe out, and make some pause, some silence, expecting for the official news from SKYWAY Technologies, for you to understand clearly what happened and which developments they have. So I believe that you understand what I mean. If yes, please put pluses. Actually, I finished my part, and I'm hopeful that everyone understands, and I tried to speak a simple language to explain difficult things. But now let's ask Igor Romanenko. And now we will have our QA session. What is the last part? So please write down everything you may not understand. If you don't understand something, please write down your specific questions describing what you don't understand. Igor, please get connected. Now we are having a QA session. I'm hopeful that you can read the questions, because I don't. I can't. Dividends, Dividend is a legal term of describing payments from the profits the company makes. So this is a legal term. Dividend means the legal term for the payment from 8 to 35%, as Andrei Havratov said, from the profit of the company. But since we are not at present the public company, we may not use this term, and therefore this term is replaced by another term called Profi Bonus. Yes, Armand, I thank you. I see that we have a lot of questions about the Profi Bonus. Armand said that by the 15th there will be voting and on the decision on payout of Profi Bonus. So Profi Bonus is your dividend income, but we call it Profi Bonus because under the law this is a more appropriate term to use. In terms of the payouts under the second part of the loyalty program, Armand confirmed this. As soon as the person confirms his or her presence at event, then the payout will be made. Profi Bonus is not a part of the loyalty program and the payouts are different. Armand, and do you have questions? Do you see any questions? No, I don't. There is a question about Sushi Master. So you don't see me, only hear me. I can see myself. Do you have questions? I see whether we will get capitalization of Sushi Master after we do IPO. So actually we get capitalization because we invested into the equity. Initially it was 150 million, but then it increased up to 200 million. So this is the growth of the capitalization in our global investment portfolio. As soon as the Sushi Master does IPO, the capitalization will be higher. And I will remind you again that the value of the equity of Sushi Master, we had a contract, is 15 million US dollars. I have a question here on YouTube. Lisa is asking, you told me that there will be 10% CryptoUnit payout of the purchased package. And if you purchased it earlier, will we get this 10% payout? No, it will not, because this promotion applies only from the first. Igor, there is a question. How is our business with regard to Sushi Master organized? So whether we are ready for Sushi Master. So we get our profits from franchise. We set up some selling points, Almaty, Ekaterinburg, Kemerovo, 3 restaurants there. We plan to cover Vladivostok. So we have a franchise, we invested into the equity and 50 to 50% franchise. And accordingly, we get only 750,000 in franchise only. When we get the profit from Sushi Master, then, and when the selling point gets a break-even point, so we agreed to share 50 to 50. As soon as in Almaty or Ekaterinburg, the selling point makes profits, we have the calculations. Dmitry Счастливый is responsible for this, and he directly contacts the CEO of Sushi Master. So we have this calculation, this formula. As soon as we break the break even, the profit is reinvested into our global investment portfolio. Unless we reach this break even and unless there is no rate return on investments. So the selling points are opened in Almaty, Ekaterinburg, Kemerovo. We plan Vladivostok as well. I will write down the names. As soon as all the selling points, or at least one of them, gains some profit, all this profit will be recorded in our global investment portfolio. I showed you the highly liquid assets, and as soon as the profits is gained, then you will see in our summary webinars that there is this profit. There will be no profit on equity, so the profit could be on the growth in the value of the equity. There is no franchise for the equity, only for the business, for the restaurant. In the English chat, I see some questions. I will answer them. Is CryptoUnit going to be on some platforms, on some exchanges? Yes, it will be, as Andrei Khavratov announced in his webinars. I may not speak in his person, but after listening to him, where he said that by March 2020, we will be at the stock exchange. And that, therefore, answering your question, my answer is yes. Please wait. The next question I see in the English-speaking chat: when will we get the Profi Bonus? By the 15th of November, you all need to vote for the factor for the Profi Bonus payout, which will be in accordance of which the profit will be distributed or shared by all the token holders. Igor Romanenko announced this, and it was $630,000 total amount to be distributed. When will you launch the course 8 Fundamentals of the Private Investor, which we paid for at stage 7? We also announced this. It will be launched from December. Do you identify the percentage to be paid for Profi Bonus? No, not yet, because you all need to vote until the 15th of November, and not everyone has done it yet. There is a question why in October the coefficient or the factor for payout of under the loyalty program seriously reduced. It happened because all those people who all those who came to India to Avanti. These are those people to get double crypto units out of the money collected, meaning that those who attended the event will receive 2/3, whereas those who failed to attend the event in India will get only 1/3. Yes, bonus Profi will be paid out to all the people who today have points in the crypto units. Another question. When will we need to change crypto units to fiat money? Only after we enter the market it will be possible. After the 15th of November, there will be the payouts. This is my answer to your question, when bonus Profi will be paid out after the 15th of November. And the second payment under the loyalty program again after the same date. So the placement on platforms or stock exchange. So the date is again dependent on our performance. I believe I captured all your questions in the English speaking chat. I would like to come back to the loyalty program once again.
So we now have a decreased payments within the loyalty program. So we have volume of sales that we generate every month, or a regular volume of sales as calculated by any company. So in October, our volume was 9.6 million. So we had 23 million before so let's do the math. 19.6 to 85 minus 23. It's minus 4 million. So basically our sales volume in October compared to September decreased by 4 million. So percentage-wise, it's 23. Let me do the math. It's the sales volume decreased by almost 18%. So when the volume sales goes down, the loyalty program payments goes down as well. So you have to divide it by the number of tokens as well, because we've sold a certain number of tokens this month as well. So take into account all those indicators. We have lower loyalty program payments. The higher the volume of sales, the higher the loyalty program payments are. But we should also take into account that we need to divide the loyalty program payments by the number of tokens. And the number of tokens increases every month. So in order to have the number of the amount of loyalty program payments higher, then we need to generate more sales volumes. So that's my way of explaining it. So that's why we saw an increase in the loyalty program payments, because the volumes decreased. We had a record-breaking volumes in September, and then it decreased in October. So we plan that in November, December, we're going to generate another record-breaking amount. But this is what we plan. We need to see how it goes in real life. So we need now everyone to pay in cryptocurrency because this is the fastest and most convenient way for many people, especially crypto traders. But well, of course, for someone, it might not be the easiest way, but that's why I told you in the beginning. Let's, my dear friends, master new technologies, new areas, because in few years, a lot of people, most of the people will have their e-wallets and crypto wallets, and in future, people will use only electronic money. So for us, it is also more convenient for the fund. It is more convenient to receive cryptocurrency so that we're able to pay our counterparts in different investment projects. In Estonia, we have a company opened. Oh, we lost the feed. It's back on. So we opened a crypto company in Estonia and we have a corporate account in Binance too. So now you can directly pay to this corporate account and exchange it in the stock exchange. Some countries have already legalized working with cryptocurrency. In others, it's still prohibited, but in some, it is already possible. So this company also has a license to purchase and sell cryptocurrency. Now I'm checking what other questions we have. So what Profi Bonus consists of? Well, from the liquid assets that I showed you before, let me show you the screenshot. Let's go back to this slide. So let's take a look. Let's go back to liquid assets. Well, indeed, the overall amount of investments, you can see it was what, one investments in liquid assets was 2 million units, as you can see. The revenue was almost 700,000. So this revenue will be distributed among all, distributed for the loyalty program. So this is a revenue over 7 months, and this amount will be split among all the participants, investors within the CryptoUnit program. Again, this profit that we received from our liquid assets, and this is the Profi Bonus assets, and it's going to be paid to all the CryptoUnit participants. I hope this is clear, because some of you will have it paid in double amount, those of you who will upload the proof of your participation in Eventy. This is very important. And second part, within the bonus profit, will be paid in 2020. So someone is saying that the payment amounts are not quite clear because I already told you about it. It's a what, $700,000 units. Remember, we told you that out of this amount, we now have the voting whether we'll have to reinvest it, pay 8%, 12, or 35. So we would like to pay 35% of that amount as Profi bonus, not the entire amount, but 35% of it. But the voting is still in process. So let's take this amount once again. What, 693,639.41 multiplied by 0.35. We have what, 240 something thousand units will be paid as bonus Profi. Now I hope it's clear. This is the 35%. If the voting decides that it should be lower, so we are still voting on the percentage to be paid from 8 to 35%. So don't forget, those of you who attended Eventy and uploaded the proof of your participation will get the double the number. Well, this is the slide dedicated to the investments in diamonds. What other questions do we have? Let me take a look. Over 7 months, more than $100 million were raised. So 44 million are being used. What about the rest? I showed it already. We have investments worth 44 million in 9 segments in 24 investment projects. So you can watch the video recording of this webinar and find the spot where I told you about it. Well, let's go back to the global investment portfolio for those who joined us later. So we have our global investment portfolio. We invested $44 million units. So this is the structure broken down by segments. We have precious metals, precious stones, banking sector, cryptocurrency, equity, culture, real estate. And the segment is composed of projects. So a segment can be composed of different projects. When you learn the world of investing yourself, I suggest that you take the courses, the 8 basic rules of a private investor, and you will know how it works. I took those courses myself back in the old days, and I realized how it all worked. So we have short-term projects, mid-term projects, and long-term investment projects. The short-term projects, they are the highly liquid investments. It's cryptocurrency, mutual funds, IPO markets, stock exchange, cryptocurrency market, and algorithmic trading. We have midterm investments that will yield return in 6 months. They're not yielding return right now, but they will. So in the general investments, the overall portfolio includes those investments as well. And we have long-term projects that will yield return in a year or 2 years, like Euro Gold and other areas like basalt. You need to understand that we have long-term investments that will show you the income later on, but they are included in the overall global investment portfolio. But our revenue was obtained from the 2 million worth of short-term investments, and $700,000 were earned from those 2 million, because that's the structures that we had. We did not have companies that were able to accept high amounts of money, but the world of finance has such companies. That's why we need this investment holding in order to be able to manage huge amounts of money. It was not a problem for us to transfer a lot of money. If you, for example, if you want to buy 100 million shares, that's why we created this investment holding for us to, which will enable us to manage and as much money as we need and to move around as much money as we need. That's why we bought 2 brokerage companies. This is only the start, and together with our American partners, we will go and make a contract for the exchange of shares. I will go there. Dmitry Счастливый, our future financial CEO, will go there as well, and CEO too, together with our American partners. Well, thank you, Igor. Do you have any other questions? There is no audio from Armand. There's some. Oh no, he's back online. Sorry. Any more questions? So the second part of CRU, when and how. I'm not quite sure what you mean. So the person is asking when the company plans to launch the STO. Once again, Andrei Havratov announced that it's gonna happen in March 2020, not January, February, March. So what's going to happen on January 2020? Andrei Havratov will tell you all about it. So how unit is going to develop, whether it will take electronic currency or cryptocurrency form. So we'll have a voting the way we're going to do it. We'll weigh all cons and pros and we'll decide together how it is going to work. So the next question is, how can we be sure that the schedule we are showing is actually true? Zygmunt asked this question. Well, to eliminate all your doubts, you need to participate trainings for leaders, and people who attended Goa training, they saw all the contracts, all the planned and scheduled money payments and transfers. So those people witnessed and saw with their own eyes the contracts under which the money is invested. This webinar is like a summary reporting webinar for all of you to be, for us to be on the same page. So you're asking when there will be details on the GOD program, future guaranteed by securities. Andrei Havratov will tell you all about it at the summary webinar, because I'm not now in a position to tell you about it. Well, friends, I see that there are no more new questions. How many people we have in the closed club right now? Igor, do you have the statistics for how many people are in the closed club? So while Igor is checking, I'll try to answer another question. Olga Berezina is asking whether it will be possible in future to buy our own TS. I don't know what it means. Maybe you mean like trading centers or something. Could you please like rephrase your question, because I don't understand it? Where do you send your where should we send our investment proposals and offers? You should send it to your uplines, and uplines will send it to the leadership council, and then the leadership council will bring up to the consideration of presidential council, etc. Thank you very much for your labors, guys, and we'll be waiting for the next report. Well, I would like to now call it a day and tell you the following. I see that a lot of complaints that the company is taking such decisions and loyalty program payments, the figures, and there's no way of double checking and making sure that the figures are real, etc. So when you're paying for education packages or trainings and courses, no one, nowhere, ever gives you any bonuses. And CryptoUnit is a bonus to the education package that you purchase. So basically, you purchase a share in the company. Show me any other company which provides you with training courses and gives you a share in that company. Loyalty program bonus is just a bonus. It's something that Andrei shares with you. Bonus Profi, or Profi Bonus, is simply a bonus. It's a bonus that is given extra to you purchasing an information education package. It's for us to be able to be literate and to be able to bring our business to the next level. So why the payments are so small? Just take a calculator and you'll see. And Igor showed you how much was raised by the company and CryptoUnit program, how much funds were received. Divide it by all those crypto units that were sold, and you'll see the ratio. Multiply it by your token scores, points that you have in your back office, and you won't have to ask why. If you want double the number, and then we'll have not trillion million, 1 million of sales, but like 50 or 100 million. We are the driving force behind it that will be able to multiply that capital. Hopefully I conveyed the message. So I already answered your question regarding the schedules being and the payments being true. So until the 8th of the next month, profits to be paid, we need to have a voting. By the end of the month, we'll see how much money we raised. We are all co-owners, and being co-owners, we make decisions how much should be paid as dividends or Profi Bonus, and then, only then, we will announce the percentage. Well, Ivan, you came up with your own investment proposal. You can implement it in your own city if you want to. All the questions that you have can be dealt with if you listen attentively to our webinars. And again, I would like to reiterate that we are co-owners here and our decisions should be taken collectively. So we'll have to wait until the end of the voting for the amount of money to be paid monthly. And hopefully the information that you received today was useful. And I hope that this is only the beginning of the big project that we've all believed in and we are in. So let's do it together and implement it together, because it will be close to impossible to do it alone.
Can't you hear me? Well, I would like to thank Armand. So there was a question how many people we had, and the slides and the presentations may be accessed only by the members of the Presidential Council. You understand what I mean, because you need some competence in these areas. and therefore we can't share them. So thank you very much, dear friends, for your attention, for your time. And I wish all of you good luck in your investments and success in the business.